Welcome back, you guys. Today I'm going to show you how to finish around a tub or shower with tearaway bead. You probably shouldn't do this around a tub. That would be a really poor choice of materials. Because this is an enclosed shower unit, which means there's going to be a flange here for the glass door that's sealed right here, protected from water. So we just need a clean finish up to the edge of the flange. And the last video I showed, I did a flat tape. So I just pre-filled this gap and then flat taped across it. And it's a pretty elegant solution, to be honest. But I think tearaway is also a really good option because it gives you a plastic edge that you can then caulk in between the two surfaces. So let's try that. You can find tearaway bead at your local drywall supply if they don't have it at the big box stores. So let's go something like 73 3/16. We're just gonna line up to the nosing of the other tearaway already installed. 73 3/16. And yes, I like to use Freedom units, much to my wife's dismay. Right there. Don't cut your tape measure. I actually haven't done that yet. Never managed to snip my tape measure. So this is not a tearaway flat, this is a tearaway. And if you're curious what I'm talking about, watch my video where I talk about all the different types of corner beads and what their uses are for. So this bit here has to slip in here. And you might also be wondering why a tearaway. And that's because this protective flange right here will stop mud from getting on the tub, which isn't the end of the world if it does, but it's just annoying. So, and then when we're done, comes off and you're left with just a finished wall edge. So tearaways are a great option. But first, it's time to huff some glue. I always install this stuff with spray adhesive, and the Trimtex stuff is the best. It's got a really good nozzle on it. It has a directional nozzle, so it sprays about 1 inch wide, depending on which way you have it oriented. And I've never been the best at spraying this stuff. I'm really good at overspraying it. So let's do that. I always spray the plastic first because it's less absorbent. And this stuff takes time. So we'll spray this next. And I'll try not to make a mess all over the tub flange, but I probably will if I'm being honest. So let's get started making a mess. And I'm definitely spraying too much on as well, but I can live with that. All right, and I did get a huge glob down there. It's not the end of the world, but what is the end of the world is that I've sprayed this stuff on way too thick. Just way too thick. So I often will take a piece of paper tape, and then you don't want stuff on here that's going to take forever to dry. So I just sort of smear it around a little bit. I should spray it much faster than I do, but I hate having empty spots. And if you're worried about the other part, always keep some lacquer thinner and some rags handy, because just breathing in the glue fumes is probably not enough for a really good time. And you might want to have some lacquer thinner handy also to clean off your hands. Right? It does a perfect job of getting rid of that stuff so that you don't look like a messy taper. Yeah, I could have put tape on this. That would have been the sensible thing to do. But hey, now you know how to solve the problem. Lacquer thinner. I should have gone to lunch before doing this. I always do my best work right before lunch. So what we're waiting for here is for it to be tacky. And that's why I shouldn't have sprayed it on so thick. I always make that mistake, so I always have to wait too long. If you're going like this and it's gooey, it's not ready. I almost waited too long. We started filming a different video and it's not tacky. It's slightly tacky, but it's almost drying up. I think it'll be okay. So just make sure you're pushed up tight to the flange before you push it on, and it should make an instant bond the moment you press the two together. So if it's not making an instant bond, it's either too dry or still too wet. And looks like we're good. I didn't wait too long because it is all still sticking. And a lot of people be like, Ben, why don't you use staples? I'm really not a fan of the staples because they make it very hard to bury. The staples are hard to bury. But if you have any parts that aren't sticking down, use staples. We're all good. Okay, now let's put a coat on this thing so you guys can see how that should look. Okay, so I'm using taping mud, not too thin down, just thin enough to work with easily. And I like to use taping mud for my first coat over top of anything plastic because it sticks. Plastic is a shiny surface that really doesn't take mud that well. Okay, the bottom here, you might notice if you are really perceptive that there's a gap there too. I'll probably just flat tape that one. I'm pretty sure a baseboard's gonna cover that anyways. But yeah, this is what it should look like on your first coat. Nice and full. And what it shouldn't look like is like this. So let's say you load it up and then you pull it off. Well, why are you seeing that, right? Why is that showing up like that? That's because you're not riding along the edge of your bead, right? The guide edge of your bead should be leaving it full. So that just means that you're not running your knife along the correct edge to actually make this work. I remember when I first started using tearaway when I was in the beginning of my career, I would struggle with that a little bit. Don't use that edge either. Sorry, these fumes are getting to me, and we've also just filmed like 3 videos already. It can make it hard to really be coherent. And also, if you've been watching the videos for a while and you're getting something out of them, consider subscribing. It's not gonna hurt. So sometimes I'm actually gonna leave a little bit of mud out here. I'll come back to it because I'm gonna throw a little tape across from here to here. It just stops those from being able to lift up and crack down the road. But I want to get this coated anyways, so I'll just leave it a bit hollow like that and do it maybe after lunch or when this is dry. Like I'll probably just use a fiberglass tape because they're really thin. I think I rode along the wrong edge there, so that's gonna, oh, there was enough mud. It's good. Gravity wants to pull the mud down onto the flange. I should be going like that a bit to get the mud not so centered or not falling. Braining not working. I just lost like a lot of brain cells from this glue. And the lacquer thinner I used to clean it off my hands. I feel bad for people that have to use that kind of stuff all the time. I mean, you just got to wear a proper respirator at a certain point. So, the trick to these is really just making sure you're pushed up against that edge really well. Oh, crumbs in the mud. It's okay. This is going to get 2 more coats. The first coat is just a nice thick coat of taping mud. And then 2 more skims. Because it actually takes a lot of mud, takes a lot of coats to hide vinyl properly, it really won't disappear in 2 coats. You're still going to see the little holes in the plastic bleeding through after your second coat. I say bleeding through, I just mean being hollow. Oh, and if you're wondering when I started coating this, it was like the glue was barely dry. It was just dry enough. It forms total, that's driving me crazy. It forms a watertight bond within minutes, really. So I will often use spray adhesive. If you have like a bunch of torn drywall paper, I'll use spray adhesive on top of it and then just wipe it flat. Totally seals the paper so it won't blister. Just a handy little tip there. Having spray adhesive on hand is a great idea. Always have it with me. Okay, so getting back to these, if you remember I said that I would put a little tape across. So this is just fiberglass tape. It's great because it doesn't build up very much. Just make sure you don't have it on the nosing. If it's on the nosing, it'll be impossible to bury. Okay, there's that one. And this one. And then once this is on, we can throw the second coat on this. So I always do 3 coats on these because I find that it's really hard to bury in 2 coats. And I always coat these with a knife. It's one of the few things that I don't use a trowel for. Got a bit of build up down there. I just try not to go wider than the knife when I'm installing the second coat. I mean, I probably could be going like this, but I find that I just get a really consistent coat when I load like this. So that's usually how I do it. So feather that edge, feather that like button if you're getting something from these videos. And now we're gonna ride that nosing again. Oop, I had too much mud on there. That's looking good. Feather that edge. And I think I'm gonna do 2 passes. A light one to get most of the mud off. We had a crumb on top of the bead there. And then one where I'm actually pressing against the nosing of the bead. Okay, so there's that there. And I may have to load it the regular way because the ceiling's kind of getting in my way a bit there. So see the mud's drooping. I'll often start up here and then go down, and that stops the mud from spilling so much onto the bottom. Okay. Oh, we need a little bit more right here. Don't worry about it. Okay. Right into the corner. And Got a big lift off I should have scraped off there. It's causing me a bit of grief, but it'll get sorted out when I sand next time. I don't like all this mud right here. Okay. All right, good enough for now. If I mess around with those lift offs, I'll be here all day. Feather that edge. And a finish pass. Looking pretty good. It could have one more gentle pass. Yeah. Okay. There's a bit more there. Don't sweat it. It's getting one more coat. Okay, good enough. And now I'm going to just keep doing it this way. This is an 8-inch knife. I think I don't remember if I used this one last time on this. But I'll be doing the final finish coat with a 10-inch to get wider. Oh, we need a bit more there. Good enough. So I'll basically be doing one more exactly like that with a 10-inch knife. Probably the 8-inch here, because 10-inch isn't going to fit in there. Okay, guys, I'm going to show you why this is called tearaway, because it's kind of neat. First, we got to sand it. That's pretty good there. And then it's good to run this along the edge. Get rid of that, lift off. And then this little piece, just carefully don't scratch your mud, but it just tears off. Oh, except when it's brittle. I hate it when it does that. There we go. Oh, come on. What's up, tearaway? Sometimes it can be a little bit uncooperative, so you can persuade it. Let's see, there we go. Just getting it started sometimes. This is like not the Trimtex tearaway, it's like a Phillips brand that I think was bought from Home Depot. It's not as good, it's brittle. The Trimtex tearaway never snaps like that. It's more pliable. Obviously, I'm being careful not to cut on the outside here. Oh my goodness. All right, let's just go the whole way with the knife. Clearly, we have to. Keep scratching it a little bit every time. There we go. That wasn't so hard, was it? It actually was. It shouldn't ever be that hard. But you can see now there's going to be a nice clean edge that we can just caulk. And so after it's painted, I'll show you guys what it looks like. But it's always good to run your sponge down the inside of this one more time to get rid of any little crusties. Yeah, it's a nice clean edge and it looks good when it's painted. So there this is. I could have used one more coat maybe, but from back here and from every angle you usually look at it, it looks pretty good. And generally speaking, you can see that it's a pretty nice clean line. And here's the other side. Again, just a nice clean look. That's it. That's how you install tearaway against a shower stall thing insert. I'm tired. I want to go home.